¿Qué onda, gente? ¿Cómo están? Bienvenidos a este nuevo capítulo de Alan Wake, parte número 5. Como pueden ver en el capítulo anterior, pues rescatamos a lo que es el amigo, al Barry. Nos atacaron un chingo de cuervos y pudimos sobrevivir, gente. Así que pues bueno, vamos a ver qué trae este capítulo. Así que dejen su buen like, suscríbanse al canal. Y pues nada, espero que les guste el gameplay, banda. ¡Chao!
Owned by a guy called Thomas Zane. Now, some of the articles I found about him make him out to be a famous writer, but I ran a bunch of searches, couldn't find a single thing he wrote. Zane was heavily into diving, so much so that the place came to be called Diver's Isle. But the volcano under the lake erupted in 1970, and Zane went down with the island.
Ok, continuemos, banda. Ok, ¿qué hay por acá? No hay nada. Punto alcanzado. No hay nada. Perro.
Yeah, how about that? It was there in the morning, as if it had fallen from the sky. We would take a tornado to lift something like that. We're damn lucky it didn't crush any of the trailers.
Diga Valve, pero hey, no manches.
It gets better. A local girl, Barbara Jagger, drowned in Cauldron Lake just a week earlier. They were lovers.
Sure, Jagger's a local spook store. The Scratching Hag comes for you in the dark. Childish stuff.
Anyway, Al, I'm just getting to the best part. All of the articles about this stuff were written by Cynthia Weaver. I asked around, and she's that crazy bag lady we met.
What, the lamp lady? She can be a little loopy, but she's not homeless.
Yeah, anyway, she knew both Jagger and Zane
Welcome
before they both died, and she had some kind of a breakdown.
Oh dear, Mr. Wake. I'm so glad you're here.
Está como
Rose,
poseída.
my manuscript?
Oh yes. Yes. Please come in.
Ok.
Hey, this is really good.
Rose,
Yes,
my manuscript. I really need it.
I understand. I know what you need. A muse to inspire you.
Oh, for Barry? She doesn't have anything.
Yeah, hey, Al? Al, what's... Oh...
Barry! What?
Puta, que le echó, cabrón.
It's coming for you, hiding in my barber's skin. I'm too weak to stop it. You must turn the lights on.
I promised I'd comfort you and your lovely wife.
¿Será que esta es la...?
Finish what you started. I insist.
You must turn the lights on.
Rayos, estamos como en la...
Back to work, boy.
I felt nauseous, hungover. Only anger kept me going.
I can't tell reality from dream anymore, but it seems I have an imaginary editor to help me. She's an old woman in a funeral dress. I call her Barbara Jagger. She's very strict. I'm writing faster and faster. My manuscript is being heavily revised. The edits are getting very aggressive, and each day there's less of me and more of her. I hate it, but I know she's right. She promises me I can save Alice this way. She knows more of this than I do. About the complex incantation I'm attempting. About this place. She's worked with another writer under similar circumstances, Thomas Zane. The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I'm getting close. I can feel it.
Chale.
Rose took a day from me. I had less than 12 hours left to meet the kidnapper. All I could do was get Barry into the car, work something out once I got on the road.
Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner. What can I get you today? Coffee?
I couldn't work up much hate for Rose. Something had used her
como
to
en
get to
un
me.
trance,
and
yo
left its
creo.
mark.
First refill is free. Milk and sugar on the counter there. Would you like to hear today's specials? Thank you. A nice day. Come back soon.
Chale.
My gun and flashlight were gone. I'd have to find a way to get Barry into the car.
Randolph llama a la policía.
Mr. Randolph liked Rose. That little smile she had. How she was still sweet when life had tried so hard to make her bitter. It wasn't any of his business what she did in her trailer. But those strangers, the writer and his smart-ass sidekick, looked like trouble. And they'd been in there for hours, way past her normal bedtime. He reached for the phone and called the sheriff's station. As quickly as possible. There was no time to waste.
Ok. Ve al coche, dice. Ok. Vamos hacia el coche, banda.
I just stepped outside to catch a breath of fresh air. Let me tell you, the weather's getting heavy. Things
Ok.
like this make me especially glad I'm here talking to you and not.
Pu, 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 para, pa, para. Se escuchan unos lamentos, güey, de pedo, creo.
Oh, you're gonna get it now. God knows what you've done to that poor girl.
This is Agent Nightingale, FBI! Get him up, Hemingway! You're under arrest! You move a muscle, I'll unload right in your goddamn face! Stay right where you are, Slane!
Otra vez al bosque.
What are? I'm standing right here, you goddamn maniac!
I hated to leave Barry behind, but there was no way I'd miss my appointment with the kidnapper.
Huye de la policía, dice.
Stop running! Please! Okay, man. Keep your eyes peeled. He's gonna try to make it this way.
Oh, damn.
Rayos. Shit. Se cansó el mono, güey. La presencia oscura duerme.
For decades, the darkness that wore Barbara Jagger's skin slept fitfully in the dark place that was its home and prison. It was hungry and in pain. It dreamed of its nights of glory when the poet's writing had called it from the depths and given it a brief, terrible taste of power and freedom. The rock stars had stirred it from the deep sleep the poet had sunk it back to in the end. When it sensed the writer on the ferry, it opened its eyes.
Okay. Puta madre, aquí nos van a empezar a salir esos monos, güey. Oh shit. Creo que hay un manuscrito. La presencia oscura visita a Rose. Creo que la presencia oscura es como que esa mujer, güey.
The woman showed her teeth in an approximation of a smile and traced a finger down Rose's cheek. Pretty girl, she said. Rose felt as if she was falling asleep, but her knees didn't buckle. The crone spoke in a whisper, her words ice cold and dark in Rose's ear.
Okay. Creo que la presencia oscura los está atacando, güey.
This horror was everywhere I went, circling me. The cops didn't stand a chance. They were after a writer, not a monster.
Ya la policía los...
You on the ground. Hold it right there. There's nowhere to run. Freeze!
Mames, güey. ¿Qué pedo, güey? Wait, what the fuck?
This is James. Mulligan, Thornton, come in. Over. Thornton here. James, we got both Wheeler and Rose in custody. They didn't put up a fight or anything. But it was... Hey, what you... Come on! Sit down and give me that. James, Mulligan here. Over. Go ahead, Mulligan. Over. We got Wheeler and Rose here. Wheeler's drunk.
I could see the lights of the radio station in the distance.
I don't have anything on that, Deputy Mulligan. Over. Well, whatever. Anyway, Rose is just being quite weird here. You better get Doc in and take a look at both.
Ok, vámonos.
Gotcha. You better get them here quickly. The Fed's gonna want to interview.
Vámonos, vámonos, vámonos.
I imagined that the broadcast tower in the distance was part of the local radio station. Maine seemed like a
Okay.
decent guy. Perhaps he could give me directions to the coal mine.
Pero ¿cómo se supone que voy a
The
pasar por
darkness
ahí?
that was after me was trying to stop me. I wouldn't get through without a light.
Ah.
There was no power to the searchlight.
Oh, acá. Ok. Hay que mover eso entonces. Está. Vale, 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 vale. ¡A la madre! Listo. Ya tenemos la bendita linterna otra vez.
It took me a moment to recognize the flashbang grenades. They were an ideal weapon for my situation.
Team 1, come in. Over.
Lanza R1 para lanzar granadas de iluminación. Buena, güey.
And here's another call. You're on KBFFM with Pat Maine. It's Milt Peabody, Pat. What's on your mind, Milt?
Vale, vale, vale. Oh, su madre, güey. Otra página del manuscrito. Rose tocada por la presencia oscura.
Touched by the dark presence, Rose was lost in a dreamland where everything was drawn in black and gray crayons. The old lady had promised her that all her wishes would come true. She would be Alan Wake's muse. She was smiling so hard it hurt her face. She crushed a bottle full of sleeping pills into the coffee. Deep down inside, she was screaming in terror.
A la verga, güey. Pinche hachazo.
I hope Maine could lend me a car to get to the coal mine.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for that compassionate viewpoint, Lorna. Oh, here's a little surprise. The famous writer Alan Wake just walked in. Folks, I'm going to see if I can talk him into an interview.
Come on in, Mr. Wake. Oh, I'm so glad you could find the time to do this, Mr. Wake.
Nowhere to run now, Dan Brown. You back away from me. Don't hurt it.
Whoa. Everyone calm down. Put the gun down. We're all friends here, right?
Cool your jets, Nightingale. We got him. What the hell's the matter with you? There's a civilian in there.
I'll get you yet, even if it kills me. You hear me? You hear me, H.P. Lovecraft?
I had fallen off so many cliffs it was ridiculous. That's what you get for naming a book The Sudden Stop. It was probably good I hadn't had the chance to tell Maine where I was going. I'd have to lose the cops and find...
Nightingale en la emisora.
Nightingale stared through the broken studio window into the dark woods. He turned around, started to walk out, but Maine grabbed his arm. "Young man, you almost shot me. You don't shoot off rounds at people like that. What's the matter with you?" Nightingale shook his arm free, marched out. His cheeks burned with rage and humiliation. My own way to the mine.
Venga.
There was no sensible reason for the power company work lights to be here. It was almost as if they'd been left for someone like me to use.
Venga. Muere. Tu pela suerte. Venga, venga. Manuscrito. Una excavadora ataca a Wake.
Mud and rocks flew as it fought for traction. It crashed the concrete wall and landed heavily in the yard. If it were an animal, it would have shaken its head after the impact, fixed its eyes on me, and charged. Of course, it had no head, nor eyes. Shadows crawled on its form, twisting it into a monster. Then, it came for me.
Otro más que Sarah desconfía de Nightingale.
Sarah trusted her gut, and her gut said Agent Nightingale was an asshole.
Nightingale es el pinche cabrón del FBI.
It was in the way he flashed his badge, pulled rank, the look in his eyes when he wanted answers. Where was Alan Wake? What was this about an accident? Where was his wife? And most importantly, why did she let Wake go? He wouldn't answer her questions. Federal business was all he'd say.
Hello?
The most stubborn man I've ever met.
Alice? Alice?
Alan. Alan. I'm so afraid. He keeps me in the dark. Please help me. I look at you, Alan, and it's not you. Something else. Looking out from behind your eyes.
Alice, I'm here.
I'm so alone here. It's all gonna go to hell. You need to be careful. Cooperate.
The connection had been terrible, but that wasn't the only thing that hadn't been right with the call. She sounded wrong somehow, but she had called me.
Aquí hay un lugar secreto. Ok. Entramos aquí. Ah, munición de revólver. Ok. Esas pinches granadas están chidas, güey. Tenemos que llegar al tren, güey. Otro manuscrito. Un objeto poseído ataca a Wake.
It wrenched itself loose from the bridge's steel framework. Wrapped in darkness, it floated in midair, twitching. For a moment, I didn't understand what I was looking at. The heavy object lurched at me with impossible force. I threw myself out of the way, but just barely. When I turned my flashlight on it, it shook in a dark rage before it flew at me again.
Okay.
I could see a railway bridge up ahead and a warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore. I hoped I could find a car from there.
Okay.
That was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
diablos, güey. Están pedos, Va. Otro manuscrito, güey. Wake y la presencia oscura en la clínica.
He slammed the door shut right in his smug face. He pleaded for me to open the door. True to form, the asshole actually thought I would obey. I had no sympathy left, no guilt either, not for him. I took a moment to savor the scream. I bet I had a smile on my face. It was all that I had time for. The dark presence was inside the lodge with me. As a teenager, just starting to get interested in writing, Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me. I thought about all the inanimate objects that had come to life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but. The darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer.
Busca un vehículo, vale. Vale. Oh shit, the fucker. Muere, hijo de tu fucking shit. Cerrado.
We take the facts of our existence for granted, unaware that they are merely a thin veneer of desperate self-delusion, covering a vast...
Otro manuscrito. La presencia oscura ataca a Wake.
The darkness surged towards me, sucking everything loose from the ground into its depths, tugging at my clothes. I saw the flare the kidnapper had dropped and threw myself towards it just as I felt my feet leave the ground. The darkness embraced me with the force of a tornado. Somehow I managed to light the flare. The darkness roared and cast me away. I fell toward the dark waters of the lake far below.
Vale. What the fuck, man? Buena. Y nos apareció un pinche tractor, güey, controlado por la pinche oscuridad, güey. Vámonos. Vámonos. Un termito de café. Ahora sí. Vámonos.
I had never been this glad to see the sunrise. I had a couple of hours to get to the coal mine.
Buena,
The coal mine wasn't far now.
Es que según ahí en la mina está el secuestrador, creo.
Today, I would meet the kidnapper, and he would give me Alice. I wouldn't give him any other choice.